your emergency?
My mom just cut my dad's throat.
Jones was charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault. Investigators say she sliced her husband's throat with a knife.
Okay, where's your dad at?
He's coming downstairs now to get away from her.
She made threats that she would kill him, and she almost did.
Jones' daughter told investigators her mother had been planning this for about a year, and that girl's call to 911 right after it happened likely saved her father's life.
Okay, is he bleeding real bad?
Yeah, please hurry.
Okay, we'll get an ambulance and the police officer down there, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, remarkably calm. Joining us, Vanessa Barnett from HipHollywood.com, Lonnie Coombs, attorney, author of You're Perfect and Other Lies Parents Tell, and Bill Lloyd, forensic pathologist. Lonnie, what do you think of this thing?
You know, Dr. Drew, as soon as I heard her say that she was thinking she was filleting a fish and that she was actually slitting her husband's throat, I thought, oh my goodness, it's the Ambien defense. She's going to claim that she was a zombie under the influence of Ambien, and that was happening. She had no idea what she was doing. She didn't mean to slit her husband's throat, and she had no idea she was doing it. And this defense has actually come up a number of times in many different cases, from driving under the influence where people have been killed to just recently a guy who strangled his girlfriend who's saying the same thing. I had no idea what I was doing. I had taken Ambien. The next thing I wake up and my girlfriend's dead.
Counselor, here's what I want to do. I did this last night, too. I'm going to be your expert witness.
Oh, okay? Dr. Drew Theater.
Thank you. Here we go. That's right. Courtroom theater. So, Counselor, unfortunately, there's no evidence, I'm coming to understand, that there's no evidence that your client was under the influence of any hypnotic, and this was just her baseline defense against bizarre behavior. Now, there are sleep disturbances. In fact, do we have a full screen of that, producers? Can you guys show? Yeah. There are sleep problems that people get into, these REM sleep behavior disorders where they can kick and punch and jump. They do all kinds, basically anything you can do when you're awake, you can do when you're asleep, but sometimes they're very agitated when they do these things. And do we have the full screen of what the potential associated illnesses are? We don't have that. Well, there's lots of things that can do it, including medications. It's associated with neurodegenerative disorders, associated with mania. So there are other neurological and psychiatric conditions that can set somebody up for that. So do you think your client has that?
Well, I don't know, but Dr. Drew, whether we know whether she's actually taking Ambien or not, isn't it true that people under the influence of Ambien have done strange things like get up and eat butter-covered cigarettes and things and had no clue that they were doing it until the next morning they wake up and they see the remnants around their home. They go, what happened here?
I like the way you're so disgusted by their behavior when they're under Ambien influence. What's up, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, but this woman has no prior history of a sleep disorder. She's threatened her husband before. I mean, it's almost insulting. If I was a juror and this was her defense, I would be like, are you the student that used to also say that your dog ate your homework? It's embarrassing. This woman is an abuser, and men can be victims of domestic violence, too. She's done it against him before. And then also, Dr. Drew, a lot of people, and I asked this question last night, why didn't he ever leave? Maybe he was suffering from some sort of battered man syndrome.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit with the Behavior Bureau. But Dr. Lloyd, let's talk about I saw you nodding your head when I was talking about the sleep disturbances and the Ambien. And a lot of our Facebook and social media users were bringing up the Ambien issue because many of them had bizarre stories associated with it. But the question I have for you is, how does she make a cut from ear to ear and miss major structures in the neck?
It's a real puzzle. It's almost like a surgeon's skill where she dissected from ear to ear as if she were using a scalpel, but she was just using an ordinary household knife. How could it be? The answer is anatomy. Her husband, Thomas, was saved because of anatomy. Lying in the bed, we would call that supine. The posture of the neck and the spine was protecting the neck initially, and then following the startle, Drew, you know this, your platysma muscles and your sternocleidomastoids create a muscular wall to protect those vital structures. So it's his own anatomy that saved his life.